This week on Alaska's Fishing Paradise, we'll share the deck with Whalers Cove guests as they embark on self-guided fishing adventures. We'll see firsthand their pursuit of halibut and salmon in the waters of Southeast Alaska. A self-guided outing is not for everyone, but it proves to be a bonding experience for these two groups. Alaska's Fishing Paradise is brought to you by Blue Goo. Eliminate fog and static. Safe for all plastics and lenses. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, ensuring the future of wildlife and their habitat. And Whalers Cove, Wilderness and Sports Fishing Lodge. It's Tuesday morning near Danger Point, aboard a self-guided vessel carrying the father-son combo of Scott and Tyler Serrell. They drop their lines and it doesn't take long before they start pulling in today's bait.
Fish Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then today is our fourth and final day of fishing. This will be our fourth day. Okay. I picked those up real shallow.
Scott throws the last of the herring into the cooler. Together with his son, they are a fishing team that knows how to reel them in.
Ready to catch some halibut.
With their bait caught, they head for deeper waters. Tyler sharpens hooks and arranges lures as Scott navigates toward the halibut grounds. The duo rig their lines as they shadow the Laura May, guided by Captain Bob Tardy.
So I'm hoping that when I'm jigging, I pull up and it just stops. Then I know I've got something, like right there. No. Oh, it's a little fish. Oh, it's a little fish. Maybe he got off. No, he's still there. So since I'm so deep, I'm gonna just see if this little guy will play himself off. That's a little guy, but something. Coming up. Look at this pup. Blip. Does not appreciate being brought up. All right, there's fish. Well, it was a dusky-like rockfish, maybe. What do you think, Dad? 10 pounds? Something like that. It's a nice fish.
Immediately following the dusky rockfish, Tyler begins pulling another fish from the depths.
Doesn't want to come up. It sure feels like a halibut, the weight of it. I think he's on the bait hook, so should get him up.
In over 400 feet of water, the halibut finally surfaces, and the challenge begins trying to land the fish.
Okay. Boom, that'll do it. We both got some harpoon work and haven't done that before, so that was pretty fun. It's pretty real, you know. You're out there trying to, stick a fish and double teaming it over into the boat and bonking it. It was the real deal. Yeah, reinforced hand. I don't know, maybe 40 pounds. All right.
Tyler feels something on the other end of his line and sets the hook once again.
Yep. Yeah, he just was there. And I realize now a lot of that, don't wake up. A lot of that fishing was line on line because I could feel it clean, and he just was there. Boom. That's a nice fish. Okay, let's see.
getting together and the laughs and discussions, reminiscing. It was a highlight. I can't.
Yeah,
I love fishing with Tyler, and it's so nice for me to be able to see him in this context. He lives in Houston, and I live in Oregon, and that's a fur piece away.
Coming up on Alaska's Fishing Paradise, we'll continue to follow the father-son duo as they set the hook on more great fish that don't give up without a fight. The self-guided adventure continues with some more great Alaskan fishing after this. Welcome back to Alaska's Fishing Paradise. On board the Deer with father-son duo Scott and Tyler Searle, halibut are the target in water depths of 450 feet. But before we get back to the action, let's take a moment with Assistant Dock Manager D. Dub McMurray on this week's segment of Straight Talk.
On this week's Straight Talk, we'll cut a rockfish. Similar to the salmon, you start with your head cut, around the fin, go back to your tail cut, ride that spine up to the belly, and go along the rib cage. Now the rockfish have a bigger rib cage, so it's a little harder to get meat off. You just want to ride it back. When you get down to the belly, just cut down. Same thing on this side. Up to the belly. Skin it, start on your small end, go down to the skin, slide back. And that's this week's Straight Talk.
As we catch back up with Scott and Tyler, a battle is on. Once at the surface, both a halibut and Pacific cod are found on the hooks.
That's it. Thanks, Ty.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that without you. It's just so wonderful to have you with me.
Captain Bob Tardy stops to take a look and to inform these fishermen that his vessel is headed to salmon waters.
Now we're gonna chase on after the king salmon and silver salmon. So it's been a real good morning out here in the halibut grounds.
A light rain ensues as they head back to the lodge for a quick bite to eat and to empty their cooler before heading back out after salmon. After a short ride to the salmon spot, Tyler begins rigging to troll as Scott finds their drop-off.
I would, raise and lower the downriggers themselves and, rebait, cut herring fillets and, rebait our rigs and drop them down and down to about 100 feet. So it's, it takes something, and you just got to kind of watch the lines and make sure, nothing looks weird, because you get down to 100 feet and something's kind of looking weird, and you got to pull it up and get kelp, or your bait gets, snatched or whatever. So that was kind of my role.
The downriggers are set, and it doesn't take long before Tyler notices his rod tip jumping.
You're just sitting, audition it. Got it? Okay. That's too small? Yeah, no, it's 26.
This salmon is short of the legal size limit, so they throw it back and rebait the line.
We're going up the edge of the hill now.
Lines are continually checked to ensure the herring fillets stay on.
Both lines are running in tandem, kind of as we sort of do S turns, which makes one bait go a little slower on the inside and drop to a slightly deeper depth, and the bait on the outside will raise up and kind of accelerate. So that variation is pretty productive in terms of inducing strikes. With the quiet, perfect day came sleepy fish.
They crank up the downriggers and reel in their bait with thoughts of dinner on their minds.
Deer calling Whalers Cove Lodge. Just wanted to let you know we're just a couple minutes out and heading in.
On the way back to the lodge, however, Scott and Tyler find themselves taking a little detour.
Apparently we overshot home base, a little foggy, and I realized as I was heading along the track on the way home that that was the track I'd been on in the morning, and so got a chance to see some water twice today.
The lodge is abuzz as guests anticipate steak and crab being served for dinner. Coming up on Alaska's Fishing Paradise, we'll change boats and join a couple from San Diego on another saltwater adventure. Lines are wetted and forearms tested as this couple goes after a variety of species on their self-guided journey. Welcome back to Alaska's Fishing Paradise. It's Thursday, and with a new day comes new faces. Steve and Sue Bear from San Diego untie from the dock and climb aboard another self-guided outing in pursuit of wild Alaskan halibut and salmon.
Go ahead and undo the stern. This is our 7th trip up here, and we love it. And I've already booked for next year.
And I love to come up here because I don't get seasick, because it's nice and flat, at least most days. I don't fish in San Diego because I don't make it to the end of Point Loma before I'm sick. So this is fabulous.
Got in the water, we're just idling out, waiting for another boat, waiting for Casey's boat. And he's pretty much behind us, and then we're gonna start running over to around Danger Point, which is only about 3 to 5 minutes around, where we're gonna catch herring.
With cousins Casey and Patty Winningham in tow, Steve leads the way to the herring spot. Sue takes the helm as Steve begins setting up for the morning bait run.
This is not what we need.
Sue is first to strike some small bass instead of the targeted herring. Steve, a retired construction worker and former Navy SEAL, has a lifelong passion for fishing.
40 feet, Sue. When I was a young kid, probably 3 or 4, we lived in Nebraska. When it rained, I'd get a stick and a line and just tie the line to the end of the pole and go to the edge of the road, which is a gutter, and pretend like I was fishing.
With fellow Whalers Cove guides in the area, Steve and Sue's bait fishing picks up. As the couple pulls in today's bait, they work past local villages that rely on the fish that roam these waters. After a few more herring, they drop anchor and try their luck for halibut.
Okay, let's go halibut fishing.
The couple flips the bail and drops their bait down into halibut territory.
Long way down. I think I got one. It's a rockfish, I think.
Upon surfacing, it's a small Pacific cod. Sue follows and finds herself pulling one from the depths.
Okay, poor little buddy, off you go. Oh, he wasn't hurt at all. He just flew right off.
Steve is quick to reel in another great eater, a Picasso rockfish.
Oh no. I'll take him.
Oh, nice.
I'll take him. Pull you right over here. I think that's I call him Picacho.
Well, this is how it started the other day. We were getting lots of rockfish, and then all of a sudden we got big halibut. So you never know, maybe a good sign.
Unlike the smaller halibut before, this barn door seems to have a bit more size to it. As Sue battles her fish, Steve lands another Picasso.
There's one more.
I'm really good at hooking them. I'm not so successful pulling them up.
It takes two.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fishing rather deep, over 300 feet, and with a 45 or 40 pound fish, my wife's strong, but her arms
I couldn't pull one over the
get
rail, that's
tired,
for sure. I know
you
I
know.
couldn't.
So we relieve one another, and it takes a team.
Oh yeah, he's a keeper. He's a keeper.
Whalers Cove owner and captain Dick Powers swings by, checking on the self-guided adventurists on his way out to deeper seas. Coming up on Alaska's Fishing Paradise, we'll continue to follow the California couple as they pull in fish after fish. And halibut is not the only species they're after, as they switch tackle to try their luck at beautiful Alaskan salmon as well. Alaska's Fishing Paradise is brought to you by Blue Goo. Eliminate fog and static. Safe for all plastics and lenses. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, ensuring the future of wildlife and their habitat. And Whalers Cove, Wilderness and Sports Fishing Lodge. Welcome back to Alaska's Fishing Paradise. The self-guided couple, Steve and Sue Bear, continue to find their lines being hit.
It's cod, I think.
Another Picasso rockfish hits the ice, as Steve seems to be finding them feeding just off the bottom.
I do. Well, this guy's starting to take line, so I'm going to let my husband take him.
Okay, got it.
Okay, get him.
The halibut surfaces, and Steve hands the rod off to Sue, so he can pull it on deck.
We're keeping him. Let's pick up, and we got a long way back against the current and wind.
Anchor is pulled as Steve decides to switch spots due to the strengthening winds.
Here, bring that bow up a little.
Once the transition is made, salmon rods are pulled out and set up for trolling. The couple has a false hookup as some kelp finds their lines. Another false hookup, and hooks are baited again with hopes of king salmon finding them.
Yeah, we're back up here at Danger Point, we call Danger Point, and it's calmed down. The seas have really calmed down, or the strait has really calmed down, and we're trolling for some kings or silvers. 5 more minutes. We'll get down and then come back up.
They call it a day and head back to Whalers Cove Lodge. Upon arriving, the docks are busy with some young anglers that found their luck today on the Alaskan water.
Teamwork effort, this guy. It's hard because our lines were attached.
The parrots also had success, resulting in memories that will last a lifetime.
Here's my 150-pound halibut, 66 inches. The limit is 68. Darn.
As Steve and Sue throw on some fresh clothes and unwind from today's adventure, let's see what Chef Jack Wentz has in store for dinner on this week's edition of Chef's Corner.
Welcome to Chef's Corner. I'm Chef Jack Wentz, and today we're going to make a wild coho salmon en croûte. We want to start by cutting our puff pastry dough. We don't need them to be real big because we're going to stretch it out a little bit. That'll make the dough just a little thinner. A small amount of flour on the table so it doesn't stick. And what we do is we just want to gently pull on it. Okay, now that we have our dough stretched out, we're going to start by placing our ingredients in. We want to start with a little garlic confit. We're just going to rub this on the shell a little bit. We've cooked this in butter overnight. a little bit of onions, and a little pepper. And we've roasted these because it's important that it's not going to be in the oven very long. So we want to make sure our vegetables are pre-cooked. Some lemon, rind removed. Okay, now we're going to season our salmon. And today's mixture is salt, pepper, and a little bit of thyme. And some crushed red peppers. And we're going to place that on top of all of our vegetables. And now we want to put a little egg wash around the outside, and that'll help seal in all the juices. Just a little bit around the edges. Okay, now we're going to take the corners and pull them up. Now we want to make sure we get this completely sealed. We want to add a little bit of egg wash to it. And we're going to place it on a lightly greased sheet pan and place it into our oven. We want to place this into a preheated 375-degree oven. We want to make sure we don't overcook the fish, so we just want to cook it till it's nice golden brown and it'll be done. Now that our fish is cooked to a beautiful golden brown, we're ready to put it on our plate. And there we have it, folks. Wild salmon en croute.
We like you, so like us on our Facebook page. And be sure to visit our website at whalerscovelodge.com.